Okay, here's a video for our start off to the new year, new decade. So we've been hard at work since the 6th. So the complexion of everything has changed quite considerably. Lots of material hauled up here. That's the base for a little shed here beside the carport. Finished cutting all of the upper lot. This cliff here. The idea is to make this thing pretty and for it to drain the water so it can never turn into a mudslide. So part of that here, we've done something a little bit new, and we've made a footing for the retaining wall along with a gutter all in one, and the columns for the gate are poured in place, and this we've used a stone decoration in all of the exterior to the lot work. So we've completed this gutter work. We've got, well, there'll be two more gutters coming over from the hill here and cascading down into the main gutter, and then a cap going on this so that nobody can fall into that culvert hole. Whole bunch of material. Well, we've really tried to soften this here entrance here so it doesn't have a sideways pitch to it anymore. And this chunk of gutter we just did today, so we still have a whole bunch more to do to get down there. It's a bit of a slow process embedding those rocks because they're part of the concrete. They're not glued to a concrete base. All of these are embedded in the fresh concrete, so they will not ever let go. Anyways, coming up here, well, we've hauled 19 truckloads of material up here so far this year, various forms. So our platform for the house and for the floating slab is in good shape and packed like crazy. Gravel lined up when we just more or less finished the pool hole here today, so just setting up leveling lines. Now I'm going to be doing an extensive video on the do's and don'ts of swimming pool construction in Costa Rica, because it is a critical point, and pretty much all the pools I see are best described as crap, very risky for the owners, tend to be leaky, and insecure when this area of the country gets its big earthquake, which is probably an inevitability. They said there wasn't going to be any earthquakes up in Guanacaste till 2012 when they got a 7.4, and there was, to put it mildly, extensive damages. Well, this is right now the most seismically active area of the country in frequency. Just it's never so far since they started recording this has had a severe one, but that is hardly a guarantee. And in fact, the Obsecori, the Department of Seismic and Volcanoes, believes its time is due for there to be one. So the whole mission being, we parked this pool right out onto the edge of a considerable slope. That's about somewheres around a 60-degree slope. I mean, here we had a hole over here. We had a whole bunch of dirt to get rid of, so we've dumped down here about 60-70 cubic meters of dirt. Now we're going to be covering all of that up, landscaping it all, and putting in fruit trees and whatnot, and a special geotextile. But anyways, we'll be having a lot more discussions on this subject as I expand this considerably. I've just been busy this week figuring out how and who is going to drill holes for me to put all of the pilings down underneath this. So we're putting 5-meter pilings. So that's just shy of 20 foot deep network underneath there to make sure that this 130-ton monster stays exactly where we put it. But anyways, that's sort of a lay of the land for this tour. Just thought I'll show the geo that we're going to be using there. Because most geo doesn't allow stuff to go through it. Well, that's exactly what we don't want, is stuff not growing through it. The whole thing is to have this piece of hillside return to garden/jungle. But this is the geo that we'll be using. It's this woven spring web. Now this has about a 3 to 4 year life before all of this plastic webbing goes to crap. But the point is to revegetate that whole hillside long before that. And we'll be doing the same thing up there on that slope at the top of this cliff here that's at about 80-85 degrees. So that taking that same material and putting a steel mesh in it so that we can pin it up there and then get vines to grow up there to make it look like something. Because I say to anybody and to the owners here, says, this thing's ugly now. Well, you come back, if you do nothing, you come back in 30 years, it'll be just as ugly as it is now. So the idea is to turn that into a garden wall. So 80% of it is cosmetic, to turn that into a big showcase of green and flowers and whatnot, and also to secure it so that nothing collapses. Like this piece here, we dug this before Christmas. Well, they had one rain, I think it was December 30th, and this whole wall collapsed here. So it doesn't take much water to get this stuff to collapse. So the whole idea here is to see, and this one here, you got to backfill all of this now, of course, but that gives you an idea. One rainfall and we lost about 2 cubic meters of dirt from one rainfall. But that's the other part, is to secure it so that it's fixed and will never get wet again. Anyways, now those that are following along in the build will see how it unfolds, but that's the whole idea. Because this has, a footing, but these are also columns with the same schedule 60 steel going down into your pilings under all of these ones, about they're 1.5 meters deep. So the thing is, this sustains by, first of all, this will be sloped back 5%, but it's holding that, and the pilings are holding it. But in order for that wall to move this way, all of this footing has to tilt down, and of course everything underneath here is well compacted, good base of gravel. So that's not about to happen. But anyways, that's sort of the snapshot from today, and we shall sign off, and we shall hit the road back to San Jose. So from the sunny shores above Playa Ballena, Costa Rica.